Hi guys, welcome to lesson 1-6, multiplying and dividing real numbers. Our objective for this lesson is that I can multiply and divide real numbers. Our essential understanding, the rules for multiplying real numbers are related to the properties of real numbers and the definitions of their operations. So we have two new vocab words for you. They may have been things you've seen before. First up is the reciprocal. The reciprocal of a non-zero number in the form a over b is going to be b over a. We are flipping the fraction upside down. The multiplicative inverse. The reciprocal of any non-zero number is the multiplicative inverse. The product of any number and its reciprocal is going to be 1. So this is one way when we start to solve equations that we can cancel out fractions. We can do it by multiplying by the reciprocal. All right. So our key concept for multiplying real numbers, the product of real numbers with different signs is always going to be negative. So negative 2 times 3 is equal to negative 6. The product of two real numbers with the same sign is always positive. So 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. All right, so this is a rule that you guys need to memorize. All right, so problem number 1, multiplying real numbers. We want to know what is each product. So you've got 6 times 15, 6 times negative 15, so you have positive and negative, so we know our answer is going to be negative. And 6 times 15 is 90. Next up, we've got 12 times 0.2. 12 times 0.2. When we multiply that out, these are the same signs, and it is going to be 2.4. 2.4. Letter C, we have negative 7/10 times 3/5. We have a negative times a positive, so our answer is going to be negative. 7 times 3 is 21. If we don't remember how to multiply fractions, here's the refresher. Multiply the numerator straight across. Multiply the denominator straight across. 10 times 5 is 50. So 21 over 50. Looks like that's all we would be able to simplify. That would be your final answer. So here's one that I know I've talked about in class before. Negative 4 squared. The number negative 4 is being squared. So that's, if you don't remember, it's negative 4 times negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 is going to be a positive 16. Any number that's being squared should end up being a positive. If you were to type that into your calculator and you tell me that negative 4 squared is negative 16, I will tell you that you did not put parentheses around your negative number, which you must do. All right. Why don't you give the bottom 3 a shot there and then come back to the video and see how you did. So letter A, we have a negative 2/3 times negative 8/9. Negative times negative, we know this answer is going to be positive. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 9 is 27. 16 27ths, and there is nothing that we can reduce there. Next up, we have negative 3 times 17. And the answer for that one, we have a negative times a positive, so it's going to be a negative number. It'll be a negative 51. Okay. Letter C, negative 3 cubed. Did anybody let the different exponent trick you? So negative 3 cubed is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. So negative times negative is a positive, Positive times negative is negative. So our answer is going to be negative 27. Okay? All right. Problem number 2, simplifying square root expressions. Odd place to have it, but that's where they put it in the book. We want to know what is the simplified form of each expression. So for 64, the square root of 64, what number times itself equals 64? That's going to be 8. So now we've got this little funny symbol here that's a plus and a minus sign. So what this is looking for is we want both square roots, the positive square root and the negative square root. So the positive and negative square root of 16, we can write plus or minus, and the square root of 16 is 4. Because both positive 4 and negative 4 are solutions for that expression. They are both square roots of 16. So in letter C, we are only looking for the negative square root of 121. So we write our negative sign. The square root of 121 is 11. So it is negative 11. Letter D, we can deal with fractions again. These are okay to work with. We've got the positive and negative square roots that we're looking for. And the square root of 1/36, well, the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 36 is 6. So plus or minus 1/6. You guys give these next 3 a shot and then check back for your answers. So letter A is asking us for the negative square root of 49. So the square root of 49 is 7. So our answer will be negative 7. Letter B, we're looking for both the positive and negative square roots. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. So plus or minus 2/3 is your final answer. We can deal with decimals the same way as we can deal with any other number. We're looking for nothing's in front, so we're looking for the positive square root of 0.81, and that is just going to be 0.9. Now, our key concept for dividing real numbers, the two numbers with different signs, the quotient is going to be negative. Two numbers with the same sign, the answer is positive. The quotient of 0 and any non-zero number, so anything other than 0 in the denominator, is going to be 0. 0 in the denominator is undefined. You cannot do this. It breaks math. You cannot split 8 things into 0 groups. Cannot happen. Physically impossible. Makes no sense. Just ask Siri. Seriously, ask Siri. She gets kind of snarky with her response. All right, let's do some practice here. So what is each quotient? Negative 84 divided by 14. So first of all, negative divided by a positive, our answer is going to be a negative answer. And 84 divided by 14 is 6. So your answer is negative 6. Negative 48 over 3. Remember, the fraction bar tells us we're doing division as well. So negative 48 divided by 3. We're going to have a negative answer. Our answer will be negative 16. So now we have a word problem. You make 5 withdrawals of equal amounts from your bank account. The total amount that you withdraw is $380. What is the change in your bank account each time you make a withdrawal? So we have $380 that's being divided into 5 equal amounts. 380 divided by 5 gives us 76. So we want to know what is the change. $76 per withdrawal. All right. So why don't you guys give the U-tries a shot? Come on back when you're ready and we will check your answers. So letter A, 120 divided by 5. 120 divided by 5 is going to be 24. But we have a negative divided by a positive, so our answer is negative. Next up, letter B, we have 92 divided by 23. 92 divided by 23 is 4. Positive divided by positive is positive. Negative 16 divided by negative 4. A negative divided by a negative is a positive 4. Our word problem, the elevation change of a skydiver is negative 3,750 feet in the first 5 minutes after opening the parachute. We want to know what is the average change in elevation each minute. So average means we're assuming that each minute is going to be the same distance fallen. So we have negative 3,750 feet over 5 minutes, which is a long time to be falling. And that equates to approximately 750 feet per minute. And you guys can abbreviate, that's fine. So skydiver is coming down at 750 feet per minute. So this would obviously be after the parachute has opened. So they're not free falling anymore. And skydiving is awesome. Done it once. I'd like to do it again. All right. Back to the math, though. Problem 4, dividing fractions. First of all, guys, remember, fractions are our friends. Now that we got that out of the way, when we divide fractions, the way we can simplify it is that we are multiplying by its reciprocal. You may have heard keep, change, flip before. We keep our first term the same, negative 9 over 10. We change to multiplication, and we flip our fraction. We take the reciprocal, so it's negative 5 over 4. Okay? So now we would multiply across, and you've got negative 45 over negative 40, and that would reduce to 9/8. And it's a negative times a negative, so it's going to be positive. Okay. Letter B, same thing. We're going to keep, change, flip. So we have 3/4. We are changing it to multiplication. Flip our fraction to the reciprocal, negative 2/5. So now we can simplify and multiply. First of all, it's going to be a negative. We're going to have negative 3 over 10. Negative 3/10 when it reduces. Letter C, 15 divided by 5/6. Well, that doesn't seem right. But if you remember, 15 can be written as a fraction, 15 over 1. We change to the multiplication, and we are going to do 6 over 5 as our reciprocal. So 16 times 6/5 is going to give us 18. Okay. Letter D is looks a little different, but it's going to be the same, and we will see a lot more of these compound fractions in Chapter 11, way down the end of the line in April and May. But right now, we're just going to see two simple fractions. We have 1/2 times, we're going to change the division to multiplication, and we multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to flip negative 2/3 into negative 3/2. So a positive times a negative, we're going to get a negative answer. And it's going to be negative 3/4. All right, why don't you guys try these last three examples, and we will go over them. So we keep it as 25 over 1. change to multiplication, flip the fraction. So we end up with a negative 15. All right. Letter B, negative 4/3, change to multiplication of 6/5. So we're going to end up with negative 8/5. Okay. Last example, negative 7/8 times, we're going to take the reciprocal. So it'll be negative 8/3. Negative times negative is positive. 7/3. Okay. All right. That's the end of the lesson for today. Again, as always, rate your level of understanding 1 to 4 on this lesson. How do you think you're doing? Write down any questions or concerns or confusions that you might have from this lesson. It may just be simple as, I'm stuck on problem 1 or problem 3, or a more specific, what do I do in this case type of question. But this would be a good place to write them down so that tomorrow when you come into class and Mrs. Zierzo and I ask you, do you have any questions? You could look down and raise your hand and say, yes, I actually do have a question, instead of staring blankly at both of us, because we really love that just awkward silence and stare. All right, make sure you summarize what you have learned today using correct grammar and spelling and all that good stuff. And we will see you in class tomorrow. Have a great night, guys.